All right, welcome back to the One Bar in Lupagus show. I am One Bar with Lupagus, and we did it.
We did it.
2,000 subscribers, baby.
Oh, I'm going to have a sip of this delicious water I just got from the tap.
Oh, God, that water looks like it might be dishwater. Thanks to all the subscribers. We have been doing this since April, and I've been having a blast. So thanks for joining the ride. We'll be giving away some One Bar and Lupagus swag this weekend for sure, drawing randomly out of our subscriber bag.
Maybe draw randomly out of my bag. Who knows what's going to happen? But our 2,000 viewers spoke. They spoke loudly after we posted our 2020 one-year grading. They want to see us go back in time, like Scott Bakula and Quantum Leap, and grade the 2018 Vikings draft. So that is what we're going to do.
Yeah, what a horrible show. Actually, it was kind of a great show.
Great, horrible finale, but a great show.
Yes, and also to celebrate our 2,000 subscribers, we may or may not slam a beer out of the crack of each other's ass. Stay tuned.
Actually, that's where this came from.
Yeah, I think so. All right, 2018 draft grades, 3 years in, and it's safe to say this is a final grade, correct?
Oh yeah. I think this is fair to say. There's not a lot of more upside here. Well, maybe it is one or two guys, but I think for the most part, this grade is basically going to be set in stone with potentially a plus or a minus being added to the final grade.
All right, let's do this. The Vikings had 8 total selections in the 2018 draft. We're starting from the bottom up. We're going to grade each pick, and at the end, we're going to grade the whole draft class. Sound good?
I love it. I love the way this sounds. Let's hop right into it. The Vikings' last pick of 2018 was a linebacker out of Cal Berkeley. His name was Davion Downs, and I was shocked just a few months ago to find out he is still in the NFL, playing for the New York Giants, and playing damn well.
Geez, I don't know about that. I mean, it's great to see a 7th rounder from 3 years ago still in the league. That is not the norm. They have a very short shelf life, as they say, unlike Pringles. But Davion Downs, yeah, he's still in the league. And when the Vikings drafted him, he made the team. He played in 2018. They cut him in 2019. So we got a year out of him.
We got a year, but other teams got more. He's got 37 career tackles, a fumble recovery, a pass breakup. He played 36 games in his career with 8 games started. That's great value from a 7th round pick, but not much of that value went to the Vikings.
Yeah. The fact that we got 1 year out of him, 7th rounder, I'm going to give him a little love there. So I'm actually going to give this, grade a D+.
Yeah, I was going to go straight up D. I love straight up D. Moving on, we have defensive end. Was this a 7th? I didn't put the rounds down. I think he was a 7th round pick.
No, he was 6th.
Was he 6th? Ade Aruna Matata, defensive end from Tulane.
Aruna Matata. Oh, that's a different song. Yeah, he had a knee injury preseason. I still remember that.
Gruesome.
Which killed his rookie year. Vikings ended up doing an injury settlement. Short stint with the Raiders. And that's all she wrote for Mr. Aruna. I think Aruna was one of those guys he was like Downs. He was just a tweener. They didn't really know where they're going to play him.
Well, he is playing with himself now because he has no stats and he is not in the NFL. So
he did get a second look. I always like, at least when we have a late rounder and we cut him, it makes me feel better that another team signs him. Just when they don't, it's horrifying.
Yeah, but that being said, it's great he got a second look. I need to get a second look, a second opinion on a lot of things. But to me, this is an F.
Oh,
not his fault entirely, but it's an F.
I'm giving him a D- strictly because it was injury riddled that ended his year with the Vikings.
It's true.
I'm giving him a little leeway here.
All right, I believe this guy was another 6th round pick out of Appalachian State, powerhouse of a school. Guard Colby Gossett.
Yeah, Colby Gossett. At this point, I wish he was still on our team. He went to the practice squad after we released him. The Cardinals sniped him from us. He actually played some games with the Cardinals and played actually not too bad as a rookie. Signed with the Pats, released, signed with the Browns. He's still there, but he opted out this year.
Okay, so I couldn't find any solid stats on him from anything recent, but he's got 4 games started in his career, 5 games total played in the league. Yeah, when the Cardinals sniped him, our guard situation was almost as bad as it is now. We were kind of hoping he still would have been around. Maybe he would have got some run, but the run he got did not come with the Vikings.
It did not, but it's good to see once again that he still is in the league. He played well with the Cardinals. Why the Vikings didn't just sign him? They're active. Whatever. It is what it is. Colby Gossett, thank you for your practice squad service.
I'm giving this a D.
Yeah, I'm actually giving it a D minus.
Yeah, it's not so much. If he would have stayed with the Vikings, I think he maybe would have had some more stats. But
yeah, I mean, he was earlier 6th round. I'm starting to be a little less lenient here. So that's why I'm doing the D minus.
All right, next one, full of controversy, full of love, full of hate, full of tears. Kicker Daniel Carlson, Ade Aruna, who I believe the Vikings traded up to get in this draft. We all know the story. The meltdown in Green Bay, immediately released. We bring in Dan Bailey. He goes to Las Vegas / Oakland, becomes one of the greatest kickers in the NFL, and we are stuck with a turd. It's like trying to flush your shit down and a new one comes up.
Yeah, I don't even like talking about this one. I remember when he was drafted. I remember when they traded up. I think we were just saying this is going to be a kicker. And it was a kicker. And it was Daniel Carlson. It was the kicker we wanted out of Auburn. And our dreams came true. And they were quickly dashed. So I'm going to give you the honor of grading this pick first.
This is hard. I mean,
not for me. I know exactly what grade I'm going to give this.
Because, yeah, did he melt down? But the Vikings really screwed this one up themselves for not sticking with him, giving him another shot. He's hit 84.1% of his field goals in his career, 96% of his point after attempts. Right now, you cannot say you would not 100% want Dan Carlson over Dan Bailey. I don't think there's even a discussion there right now. So I'm going to give this one a C, and it should be higher because they actually hit on this pick. But the fact they gave up on him too soon, it's a C.
I'm more distraught that you said point after attempt. I don't know if I've ever said a point after attempt.
We should start.
I'm going to. And he's got a boot. He was 4 for 4 from 50 plus this year, long of 54 yards. I'm giving this pick an A, easy. I give the front office an F. But they absolutely nailed this pick. He is one of the best kickers in the league. Unfortunately, it's not for the Vikings. Great value.
Yeah, so A and F equals a C. That was my logic.
There you go. There you go. Let's go to round 5, a guy that is still with the Vikings. The first guy in this draft, that is a Viking still. Tyler Conklin, breakout year this year, 26 receptions, 32 in his career. He's not a bad option. I look forward to seeing what he brings in the future.
Yeah, if this grade is going to go up for any reason, it's going to be because of what Tyler Conklin does in the next couple of years if he's re-signed to a second deal with the Vikings. Because he's starting to come on. He showed it this year, what he can do. He got his first touchdown when he basically plowed through 6 guys to get in the end zone. It was beautiful. Making tough grabs. He's catching balls with guys on top of him. He's out there hand catching them, which you don't always see a lot of tight ends doing as he's fully stretched out. He's spread.
You need some alone time while thinking of Tyler Conklin. I'll be happy to log off.
I'm just saying he's progressing finally. But as nice as where he is right now, and as much of his potential is very enticing, he's got 32 career receptions, 329 yards, and a touchdown in 47 games in 6 starts. This is 3 seasons in, so not a great stat line.
What are you giving him?
I am giving him this pick right now is a C minus.
That's we were pretty on the same page with the 2020 draft class. We're in different chapters here. I give Conklin a B plus. He hasn't had much opportunity. You got Kyle Rudolph out there. You got Big Irv. We drafted last year. Conklin was drafted as more of a little bit of a project, and I think he's marinating just fine. He got his chance. He took advantage of it. So I gave him a B plus. Easy.
Yeah, I know. You just can't tell me you didn't want to see more than 32 receptions and a touchdown after 3 years. So that's where my C minus comes in. All
right. We'll take that. I think we'll probably have the same grade for the next guy. Round 5, Jalen Holmes out of Ohio State.
Is he round 3 or 4?
He was round 4. Out of Ohio State, 25 career games, started 9, has 1 sack, 4 tackles for a loss. I guess the saving grace for Jalen Holmes this year was the fact that he could play multiple positions. He might not be able to play them well, but he played multiple positions.
Well, and that may be not only his saving grace, but also his fall, because defensive end in college, Vikings moved him inside to a D tackle, didn't really pan out there. Moved him back out to the outside this year, and just not a whole hell of a lot out of Jalen Holmes. Like you said, the 1 sack in 3 years, 43 tackles. Just it's an F. I'm not even gonna talk about it anymore. It's an F.
It is an F. I liked the pick when it happened. I went back and looked to see everybody who they missed out on. Like, oh man, who was drafted after him? Thankfully, there wasn't overly that many people, but that doesn't matter. Jalen Holmes was the pick. He has done absolutely nothing, and he gets an F.
Yeah, well, it seemed like a great value. There was talk, I think, with him second round around draft time. So the fact we got him in the 4th, it smelled like a steal. You're hooking him up with Andre Patterson. He's one of those Patterson projects who just did not pan out.
There's not many of them, but there's a couple.
Yeah, there is. And Jalen Holmes is number 1 on the list.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we did not have a 3rd round pick. I can't remember why, and I'm too lazy to look. But we did have a 2nd round pick, and it was a pretty damn good one. And he was Mr. Brian O'Neill.
Yeah, I wonder if the 3rd round pick went to the Eagles in the Sam Bradford deal. I'm not sure, but maybe that's where it went. Just guessing, throwing a dart. Yeah, Brian O'Neill, 46 games played, 42 of those are starts. I don't think he allowed a sack until last season. He had a bit of a down year this year, but a down Brian O'Neill season is pretty damn good for most right tackles in the NFL. I don't think I'm stepping on your toes or stepping on your dick or your baggy sack if I go ahead and just say this is an A.
Yeah, you're right. He gave up 0 sacks as a rookie. That's insane. He gave up 1 last year, and then I believe he had 3 this year. So it's funny because it seemed like Brian O'Neill might have had a little bit of a down year, but giving up 3 sacks, not too shabby. Still good. I give this pick an A+. Brian O'Neill, when he was drafted, I thought he was going to be like a project, maybe sit for a year, maybe even 2. But when he got chucked in there, who was our right tackle that got hurt? I can't remember.
Was it Remmers or who's their turd?
I can't remember, but also he was just beautiful. It was wonderful. Oh, yeah. 2nd round pick has been the anchor of our offensive line. A+. And I looked, it looks like we had a trade with the Tampa Bay Bucks. I don't remember what that would have been for.
I don't know either.
I'll stem back to the trade with I got nothing. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Brian O'Neill, this is the flip side for me. I thought he was more of a 3rd round pick. We took him in round 2. I thought it was a bit of a reach. I'm wrong. I was wrong. I was dead wrong. So I'm not a GM.
Well, if you were a GM, we would have Thomas DePay and Martin Rucker and Devontae Parker
and Obi Melifonwu
and Manziel. You loved him more than anything.
Yeah, I want a quarterback with some balls, but I guess I should have factored in talent first.
All right. Well, our last pick of the draft, our first pick really, Mike Hughes, cornerback, 30th overall, 7 games started in his career, 2 interceptions, not much else. Did get a touchdown.
He did get a touchdown. Here's the problem, Mike Hughes, it's injuries. This guy cannot stay healthy. He played in 24 games in 3 years, 7 starts. He has shown some ability. He's got 80 tackles, broke up 13 passes, but he also gives you some return ability, but you can't count on him. He's just never healthy. He's got a neck injury now, so who knows what his future holds. I wasn't a big fan of this pick when it was made. I think I was on the Will Hernandez train, true, but really wanted him. But Vikings went corner, and unfortunately, they got a guy who's injury prone.
Yeah, and when we were drafted him, we still had Mackenzie Alexander, Waynes, Rhodes, so it was kind of a perfect situation. He could just kind of hang out there and not get pushed in. But even when he's been out there, like 24 games played, 7 games started, he hasn't looked overly fantastic. He still looks extremely raw. And to be honest, I like what we saw out of Gladney and Danzer more than I've seen out of Hughes so far total. So unfortunately, the injuries is a big issue. It's not fair, but it is fair. F.
Well, and his story's not over yet. He's still got a chance to redeem himself. He's got, he can come back next year, make the team. I think one of our viewers or watchers, as you call them, suggested that, hey, why not keep him around as the return man and then let him work his way as the, 3rd or 4th corner? To me, that makes a ton of sense. I think his contract's probably still pretty affordable, but it's up to him. If he flat out said, I'm going to retire, I don't think that would shock anybody. But yeah, you're right. I mean, looking just at the production the Vikings have got out of a 1st round pick, there's no other grade you can really give this than an F. So I'm going to give it a D-.
All right. Well, it'd be generous of us to give them incomplete, but we don't give them those. We don't give out incompletes. If you're a first rounder and we're banking on you to be just a punt returner 3 years in, that is not good. So you're right. He might not even play again. It sucks. Neck injury is very serious. So we'll see what happens. But those are our grades for our each pick. What is your grade for the entire draft?
You got to look at it right now. I'm just gonna go through it quick here and just got one starter, and I would say, well above average starter in Brian O'Neill. Tyler Conklin, you got some hope, and then you got nothing else. So, what was that? 2 out of 7, 2 out of 8.
Well, and let me chime in here. I don't know the way you do your draft grades. Like I put more oomph into that first half, just because we have a bunch of shitty grades at the bottom half. I don't average out what.
No, I don't either. When I used to do it for draft season, I do a scale. Like the first ones could get up to 5 points, but the most a 7th round pick would just be bonus points. So I think I quit giving points after round 5. But still, you got 2 guys who are still on the team. This grade, there's a slight chance it can change if somehow Mike Hughes comes back and just plays like a first round pick and Tyler Conklin becomes the next Kyle Rudolph. But this is a D class for me.
Yeah, you were a little lower than me on here. I'm actually giving it a C+ mostly because of the Brian O'Neill, obviously Conklin, and then Daniel Carlson. I gave him an A. So
I think
good. What's that?
I think you're grading Daniel Carlson different than I am. I'm grading him as the fact that he's not on the Vikings. You're looking at his overall career, so there's a different.
I'm looking at the value that we got at 5. In round 5, whether he's on us or not, he's a damn good player. We just gave up on him too soon.
Yeah, and I'm factoring that he only played 2 games for the Vikings. So,
all right. Well, I give it a C+ overall. When you look at it from afar, it's pretty gross, but when you look a little bit deeper, that Brian O'Neill, whoo!
Yeah, it's good. You just hate to see the Mike Hughes pick be such a turd, but again, maybe he'll surprise us all. All right. Well, that's your 2018 look back, as we like to call it. And again, not Rick Spielman's finest class, but did give us Brian O'Neill and Tyler Conklin. So we'll forever be thankful for that. And I was thankful to know this, and I think you will be soon as well. The TV was invented before sliced bread.